It's a long shot, but we'll see. Makes it fun anyway. These cows don't make it fun. These cows make it suck.
Solo Hunter is brought to you by Under Armour. Never detected, always lethal. And by G5, designed to hunt. Carbon Express, shoot better. G-Tac safety harness, experience the freedom to hunt. And by Prime, accuracy is everything.
Be a beast of a pack out of here. Build a fire, eat it, take it out of my stomach. Maybe at that threshold where it's like, I could be that guy that just goes crazy. I'm back.
Up here, boy. Welcome to the morning door.
Oh, she's all loaded up. I bet you want to see them, don't you? Boom. Look at that guy.
Hungry to eat, thirsty to drink. Cold, make a fire. You wonder why I'm crazy? That's why. This morning, got into town late last night, had enough time to shoot my bow and the lights. I want to go check out the river, see if there's any tracks crossing. In years past, Stacy and I would just kind of cruise this river and find a good set of tracks crossing and then get set up kind of in that area. It kind of changes from year to year. Sometimes they'll be in one part of the river and other times they'll be farther up here. So just trying to look for any sign at all. See what I see if I can maybe find a good stand site. Really, we haven't really penetrated this part of the farm. Hate to walk right on a trail, but this looks like all does. Typically what we'll see is a heavy pattern of the doe trail, and then sometimes there'll be a buck cruising across them, just kind of scent checking all these trails. And then sometimes you'll find where it's just a buck trail, where the bucks are coming out, and that's usually earlier on in the season, not necessarily now, which is the heavy rut. I mean, some of the bucks are even locked down with does, but we'll find a heavy pattern of just buck tracks. But right now what I'm looking for is the does, and I've got a lot of doe tracks right here. So I'm gonna work my way around just a little bit, but this tells me that if there's a lot of does through here, those bucks have got to be scent checking and cruising through here trying to pick up a doe that's ready to get busy. Just like right here. Here you see a couple of old sets of tracks. These are buck tracks going across all these doe trails that are crossing this river. So these are older tracks. As the bucks start to cruise, you'll see more of these kind of tracks crossing these doe paths.
I've been hunting this operating cattle ranch for the last several years with a few of my good friends, including Stacy Chester, and I've got to admit that he puts in most of the work during the early season. And I gotta be honest, he probably puts in more work during the season too. Sure, I might throw out an Icon camera or two on a random trip to the Midwest, but for the most part, it's Stacy running trail cameras, filming the bucks in the velvet, and taking inventory on the deer that we want to hunt during the fall. In usual fashion, this year I've rolled into camp during the prime rut. And I have visions in my head of the great bucks we've taken in the past, and of the ones that either got away or we let go.
I love the trashiness of the... He's not as strong on this side, but he's 12 inch too.
Right now, after seeing all this activity on the river, I have very high hopes that one of these great deer that got away will cross my path.
I'm gonna find a spot and get set up right away, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Holy crap. That buck was only 12 yards. Came all the way around me. I was coming in here because when I drove in, I saw a doe being chased by a little buck. And this is a spot where I wanted to get set up. So I came in looking for somewhere to put a stand or a ground blind. And that buck came right on me. He was literally 12, 15 yards. Got my wind right here around, so I'm gonna back out. This is definitely a spot where the big bucks are cruising. That was a definite shooter. Wish I had my bow. Stupid. Don't go into the woods without your bow. God, I could have killed him. Oh well, that was sweet. Okay. Stick her in my pocket. First night in Oklahoma. Stinking. I came in here to find this spot to hang this stand. I came in with the camera at least, but I didn't have my bow in my hand. Walked up on just a stud of an 8 or 9 point. I haven't even looked at the footage again. I should, I guess, but. And there was another bomber, wide buck. Looked like he had tines everywhere. I didn't get him on film, but he was cruising this edge too. Stupid. I've never tried this stuff before. I'm usually a skeptic. So I met, what is this guy's name? John. Yeah, I thought it was John. Met John at the NABA in Reno this last winter. And you could tell he was really passionate about his product. You know, I told him, I'm like, I don't believe in that crap. I'm a skeptic. He said, no, here, man. Try it. So here I am in November hunting whitetails. Finally decided I'd give it a try, so we'll see. Figure it can't hurt. Worth a shot. Okay, John, if this stuff doesn't work, I'm shipping the cam back to you. skeptic with scents, cover scents and that kind of thing. I wanted to give it a try, and obviously that's a younger deer, but still you can tell he was 20 yards downwind trying to pick up something. You can tell he could smell something, but it was weird, like he kept sniffing around like he couldn't figure out what it was. If he would have been just smelling me, you know, any deer smells a human, they're gone. But that deer hung out and gave me plenty of time for a shot, so I'm not gonna say it worked, but I'm not gonna say it didn't work. I'm gonna take advantage while it's snowing, just show you why, why I packed the rifle cover. It's snowing here and it's cold enough that the snow's not really wet, so it kind of falls off, but you can see the inside of my gun, the scope, the action, everything is protected from the snow. Extremely water resistant, but it also helps when you're going through the brush and keeping any debris or anything out of your scope or into your action. If I need to get it off quick, it just pops off real quick. It's just an elastic, a series of elastic bands holding it. So it has two elastics on the bottom, one on each side, and then it has two elastics on the side, giving it a nice form fit around the rifle. Until it's time to pull the trigger, this rifle cover is on my rifle. Days like today, I can promise you don't feel like going in the woods. The wind's blowing 20, 30 miles an hour, spitting rain. With the wind chill, it's in the teens. It's icing. Just sucks. Doesn't suck. I like it, but it sucks in its own way. It's stinking cold. Stood up about 1/8 of an inch, but it was just enough to make it so it looked just off to my eye. Long shot, but since these cows came in and infested my stand, I'm gonna boogie over to this dune, See if I can rattle. See if I can bring that buck off the field. It's a long shot, but we'll see. Makes it fun anyway. These cows don't make it fun. These cows make it suck.
As I just experienced with that big 8-point that came running in right after I rattled, during the rut, things can happen fast. And sometimes you've got to be prepared to take action. There are several great bucks pushing does around out in the wheat field, and if I get lucky, I think I can get down and rattle one of them out of the field.
Well, I stuck him. I was trying to rattle that buck out of the field, and he wouldn't come, and this buck came up from behind me and just kind of startled me, so all I did was just wheeled around, drew back, kind of guessed the range, and shot. Hit him a little bit far back, but so I'll just leave him tonight. But I didn't have time to grab the camera and swing it around, sorry, but it was just I felt pretty good to be able to get it done on the ground, to be able to sneak up in there and rattle and have him come in. I didn't think it was going to happen, but it did, so pretty dang lucky. I'm sorry I didn't get it on camera, but I've got 2 other bow kills on the ground on camera this year, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. I don't think I could have swung it around fast enough, but pretty stoked. So. As I was driving in, saw a coyote just covered in mud, trotting down the road, and I thought, coyote's been in the river. So I came right down to the river, and sure enough, walked right up on him. And he's a nice buck. He's a 3.5-year-old deer, mainframe 12, broken off G2 on the back. Got some stickers here. It's really a beautiful buck, and you can always look at a deer and say, gosh, if that one just had one more year. And if this buck just had one more year, he'd be a nice tight rack, just heavy. I don't see him gaining a lot of length on his tines, but just a beautiful deer.
In the heat of the moment, after shooting that deer, I turned to the camera and apologized. I apologized for not getting the kill on camera. But you know what? I'm not sorry. I think that sometimes it is too easy to get caught up in the wrong things when filming for TV. That the entire experience of it all revolves around that tiny moment of impact. Well, it's my opinion that what should be shown most is more about the impact of the journey and the story being shared, the adventure in it all, and not just that short instance of death.
Testing. Audio check, test.